Nemesis Prima.
Alrighty guys, hello, I'm Nemesis Prima, and today I've got quite the treat for me. I saw this at Target, had to pick it up. It is such a big box that I can't show it very well on camera, but this is the Cliffjumper DIES pack, I guess. See if I can... Let's see. There we go. So we've got Prime Cliffjumper, Beast Wars Tarantulas, G1 Squeeze Play, and Cyberverse Tarn. I am so excited for this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and just crack this open. I think I'm most excited for Tarn, but definitely Cliff is up there too. And coming right out, fresh, right out of the packaging, we have the main man himself, Cliffjumper. But here we have Cliffjumper in his wonderful Prime-based glory. Alright, fix my lighting problem. Anyway, now we've got much better lighting. Seeing this guy, he looks fantastic. Just first look here. I mean, the red paint is pretty nice, I will say. It does have the common Hasbro issue of the different reds not quite matching, but it's pretty close, and I'm more than okay to forgive it for this figure. I mean, this is Cliffjumper. Like, I don't know what else to say. That head sculpt, focus, please, is fantastic. I do kind of wish that his horns were maybe a little pointier, like in the show. And his cheeks are a little in for my liking, but that's really, really nitpicking. But like, let's take a look. So posability, he can kick pretty high, not super far back. Looks like he's a little limited here because of his flap. Got an over 90-degree bend at the knee, a thigh swivel, ankle tilt, very like siegification there, but wow, that can go far. I'm assuming that has to do with the transformation. I'll definitely find out more. 90-degree bend at the elbow, looks like. Can't go back. No wrist rotation, but he does have a bicep swivel. And it looks like we've got a hinge and pivot for his shoulder. It does look like his little back piece here is gonna get in the way a bit for that posing, but looks like I can kind of wiggle it around to make it work. So, yeah. In robot mode, this thing looks fantastic. Okay, well, I transformed this thing off camera. It was really difficult, I won't lie. It's not a particularly horrible transformation. I actually think it can be quite a lot of fun, but it is finicky. But this car mode that you end up with is really, really nice. Like, this reads 100% as Cliffjumper to me. Not Bumblebee, not a repaint. It just feels like Cliff. And I love that. It rolls okay. I wish the wheels were a little more free spinning. But there's really, like, not very much robot kibble. Just got a tiny bit in the back. And it kind of looks a little weird. But for the transformation, it makes a lot of sense. And I really enjoy it. This is where you see that difference in red, though. This is not the same color. I'm sorry. And I question it because this is not red paint. Here, this is not red paint. And so you could have just cast everything in this red, but they didn't. And I don't know why. Maybe this red is cheaper or something. Whatever. It looks good. It's nice. I can put his little weapons on. Also found out that there's like a bunch of different ways to do the weapons. But he can do a little side blaster, big side claw, or a top claw, I guess. He's got quite a few of 5mm ports, which does make it nice for like throwing different weapons on there. But I don't really understand why they went this route with the weapons. Okay, well, I figured out the claw. Apparently you're supposed to slide it over his hand. I won't lie, it's a little weird. Again, feel free to tell me in the comments why he has this. But it's an alright thing, and at least he can actually hold it. I was wrong about that. Alrighty, well, when it comes to transformation, I learned it now, and it's not bad. Like I said, it's finicky, but to transform him, they have you turn his head around and flip. Oh, pull this out, flip up this section and close it off, which creates the roof of the car. And then rotate this and pull it down. And there's a little semi-tab, I guess, that you can do. But it's not the most secure until you like, finalize it. Do the same on this side. But these just tab in the back here. Like I said, it's finicky. If the waist is not pivoted the right way, it doesn't want to tab in. And it really likes to come untabbed. But moving on down to the feet, I really like this part of the transformation, actually. I like the way they did it. Because this part folds out. Big unhinge there. And you come, rotate it, come out here. Flip this guy all the way around. Tuck in the toe. Pull down the headlight. Super simple, unique, creates a really nice front of the car. Do the same on the other side. And then these can just peg together in the center there. And then you rotate this whole section, trying not to undo everything that you did on the way up. Trying to keep everything tabbed together. Takes some effort. And then you just everything kind of finds its place. Maybe. struggle busing sounds. Those find their place there in the fenders. The windshield loves to just sink all the way to the floor, but that's not what it's meant to do. There. Then you've got these little winglet looking pieces, which just fold down and fill in that gap, which these are a little tight on my figure. They get in the way. But I really like the way that they clean up the look. But they just take some effort to snap in. They don't really peg in, but the friction that requires is a lot. But you end up with this really nice alt mode. You can kind of give them reverse pop-up lights, which I think is kind of funny. And then you're just driving around, and then doop. But this muscle car is fantastic. I love the way it looks. Yeah, I really like it. As a figure in its whole, I think it's finicky, and it has got some paint flaws, but it's a lot of fun. And I think that the two modes that you get, even if the transformation, makes it really, really nice. I wouldn't say that this might not end up being my favorite figure in this set, but it's a good start. Moving on to the second figure in the 4-pack. Ball joints. This man has so many ball joints in these spider legs, but I mean, they are spider legs. I get it. But this is Beast Wars Tarantulas. Coloring is fantastic. This guy feels really, he just looks really, really nice. Posability wise, he's got over 90-degree bend in the knee. He's got an ankle pivot, siege ankles. He can kick forward 90 degrees, kick back a bit. His backpack, again, gets in the way. This seems like there's going to be a running thing with this 4-pack. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got an bicep swivel, which is a little weird. He can hinge back almost like a, what do you call it? A shoulder blade action there, which is actually kind of nice. I don't see that, but that's most likely with the transformation. But you don't see that very often. It can hinge up, and it can pivot either way. Full 360 degrees of motion, though every time I keep, apparently, trying to break it. This, I do worry about this as a problem. Hopefully it's not too bad going forward, but you never know. That head sculpt is very nice. I really love the purple and the detail that we get. We get the blue eyes, the silver in the background, the purple green. It all works super well. Got his Predacon logo on his thigh there. It's a little soft. I wish it was a little darker. But with how well painted this figure is, it's just nice. We've got the shiny silver. Got paint here in the pelvis, the little darker bluish black. We've got paint on the thighs with gold accents. We've got paint on the backpack. There's just paint all over this thing, and I love that. Alrighty, well, now that I got it into spider mode, take a look. It's a pretty decent spider mode. There is very clearly a robot back here. I appreciate that it has some weapon storage. However, actually getting it there was a task. I don't lie, at least for this guy. Very difficult. But the actual spider mode is pretty nice. I like that we've got, again, the gold and paint. I don't really understand why they painted the fangs orange as well when they're already cast in orange. But otherwise, it's pretty nice. The spider legs are finicky, and realistically, you can't really do any posing with them. You can just make him go flat to the floor. You can do a face hugger moment. Or you can have him stand up on his tippy toes. Maybe reach out with one or such. You can kind of put him in a walk cycle or something. But it's decent. I've never been a huge fan of spider transformers. I think that they tend to get a little finicky. I like the look, but I think it definitely pulls off robot mode a little better. Now, posability on this guy is pretty nice, though. I can definitely see him being in the midst of a battle, being very dramatic. It's great. Actually, going back to the transformation, though, actually showing what that looks like, it's a little rough. I like the way that they hid things, but at the same time, it makes it a little difficult to do. So you pull out this bit here, which, and you can rotate it with some fendangling. This reveals our lovely spider head, which can go up and kind of cover. Doesn't really click into place, but it covers. Then this can come up and over and tab into place. Legs just fold up with this double hinge. You rotate your ankles. And these slide up under the spider abdomen. Do the same on this side. It's a little rough to do, I won't lie. And definitely feels a little sketchy. If you want to have the gun in there or harpoon thing, you can. I'm just going to leave it out for now. Arms, rotate 180 degrees, fold down with that shoulder blade, and then come up and just fill in the gaps. Maybe. There we go. Do the same on this side. And boom. Orient your little spider doodad legs. Oops. Yeah, I've had that happen twice now. It's fine. Tab that into place. Tabs back there as well. Yeah, orient your little spider legs, and you've got a pretty neat little spider mode. It's enjoyable, it's cute. I think this might end up being my least favorite figure from the 4-pack. It's cool. I just don't see myself having a lot of fun with it. Maybe just leave it in robot mode and have him fight a Maximal or something. I don't know. Our next figure of the 4-pack is G1 Universe Squeeze Play. This guy, I'm really excited for, actually. He looks so good color-wise. I wish the camera could pick up just how pretty this blue, this super deep blue, this purple, it's just a gorgeous figure. He does come a little mistransformed out of the box. His toes are pointed in like this. But, man, this thing. And my favorite, or potentially favorite bit, he's a headmaster. Maybe. Sometimes. There we go. A little tight out of the box, but we've got this adorable little headmaster. Oh, there we go. Focus. Look at him. He's really cute. I'm forgetting his name, but I'm sure I can find it. There we go. Alright, well, this is Locos. I don't know if it's intentional for him to be, named after something psychotic, but I kind of love it. The colors on it are super nice, and it's just really enjoyable. But let me pop his head right back on. That head sculpt, by the way, is just lovely. And the paint on this is really nice. He's got this blue and tan that really alternates really nicely. And then on his chest, we've got blue, green, and purple. I kind of wish the green was a little better. It kind of bleeds over a little, but that's okay. It would be nice if we could see his little stats like on the old figures. That would have been fun. But it's still nice that it can flip up. Possibility-wise, this guy can kick. Nice. He can bend his knee. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got big ankle. Big siege ankle tilt. He's got toe articulation, heel articulation. He's got a ball joint shoulder with a lift. Over 90-degree bend at the arm. Bicep swivel. And no hand swivel, sadly, but honestly, I can't really complain. He's got a torso swivel. This guy is just posable. He can do the splits. He can Van Dyke with the best of them. It's Van Damme, not Van Dyke. But still, it's great. He's got this spiky gun weapon that I can mount on his arm. And it's just absolutely fantastic. Posability on this figure is probably, I think, one of the best. He's got some hollowness here and there, but this is a really solid figure. He's got hollow arms, that's it. And honestly, for him to come in this 4-pack, I would have bought this thing like full price. I really would have. No kidding around, nothing. Would have bought this thing full price as its own figure. I love it. Then we come to his alt mode. This adorable snake gremlin thing. Don't get me wrong, I love the headmasters. I don't know what exactly he's supposed to be, but I love it. He's got some posability still. He's got these tiny little floppy little legs, this cute little tail, and that snake face is so cool. He's got these big pincher claws that can move and just raw. I like it. I don't know how to describe it. This figure just feels solid. It looks good. And I love it. The way that I hide the headmaster is just boom. Right there. It's cute. I love it. I love it. I'm going to de-transform it. I get that I didn't do that with the other figures, but I think you guys can forgive me. But just de-transforming it is super easy. This figure, transforming him from his robot mode to his little gremlin mode is also really nice, easy, simple, and enjoyable. Pop off his head. I'll set him off to the side for now, but fold in the hands, fold up the arms, which peg into place. They're on this double joint, and those can slide up and rotate them around. Flap comes open. You can attach that there. Turn them back around. Flip them upside down. Make them do the splits. And back comes the head. Or wait, rotate these. Then make him do the splits. Pop his head into place. Pinch the claws together. And just orient everything. Boom. Little snake gremlin with big pinchers. If you want to hide the headmaster, you just pop open his chest. Make him sit down. And in he goes. It makes it feel very much like a small mech, and I love it. I can open up these claws. He can come in and grab ya. It's just a really cute little alt mode. Very fun, simple transformation that I actually really like. Yeah, no, I think in terms of figure-wise, this is my favorite one so far. Cliffjumper was great. It looks great. But this one is just more fun. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the fact that it's a headmaster and I've got a soft spot for them. Maybe it's the colors. But the feel of this figure, this play factor is unmatched so far. Moving on. And in comes the final boss himself. Darn it. I gotta back up for this guy. This guy, Jesus. He is large. He is imposing. He is large and in charge. Wow, this thing looks fantastic. And immediately when I picked it up, I was like, I'm gonna enjoy this. Oh, I didn't see that he has a sneaky little thing there. There we go. But wow. This figure looks fantastic. It looks like I'm lucky I didn't get the hip issue. He's got this dope purple sword. And I'm I'm so excited for this figure. Alright, let's check him out posability wise. He's got more than a 90-degree bend at the knee. He can kick out that far. He can kick back just as far. Already off to a great start. Upper hip swivel more than a thigh swivel. Feet do have the seatification and can point forward and can point backwards. Wow, those are some dexterous feet. Say what you will. He's got 90-degree bend at the elbow. He's got rotating hands, but boy, they are tight. He's got openable hands, also very tight. Wow. But openable hands, always nice to see on a figure. This is actually, I think, my first figure with openable hands. He's got hinge at the elbow, full 360 degrees of rotation, bicep swivel, kind of, just, and head, oh, oopsie daisies, knocked over my camera. Head can nod up and down, turn side to side. He can look up, he can look down. It is at this point that my audio cut out, for whatever reason. Either way, I was going on about how much I love the posability, and specifically his guns. He's got some excellently painted guns, 2 of them in fact, and later I did figure out that you could mount them to his back with that extra piece that I had no idea what it was. Going on, he does have light piping, which was a very nice inclusion. However, I'm not the huge fan of light piping. I don't really see as much of a point in it, but it is very nice. And he's got just a general cool factor. He can get down all the way on his knees. He can stand. He can kick. He can do everything. And it was really nice to see that in a figure like this. I continued on to talk about the alt mode, which I think is okay. It's a little bit lackluster in terms of a tank. I like the little sweep in the front. I think it's a cool design, but I think it's very design back heavy. It is front heavy in terms of weight, but as you can see me playing with it there, it's just a little unbalanced for my opinion. I found the turrets to be very easy to accidentally knock off with the thing, and I got kind of frustrated with it, honestly. Transforming it was also another issue that I will talk about in a little bit, but I think that it's a decent alt mode. But ultimately, I feel like they could have done a little better, but I'm still pretty happy with it for the most part. They could have done a little better with balance, gap management, hiding away the hands, stuff like that. But it's a pretty nice alt mode, and I'm ultimately fairly happy with it. Getting into the transformation though, this figure is a little bit difficult to transform, and I found myself finding it finicky. Like, honestly, the first 2 figures, they were just a little rough. It was... To actually do the transformation, we start by untabbing the back and folding the head backwards, untabbing the front. Unfortunately, this seems to happen every time. That front plate just really doesn't like to undo itself. It's also at this point that my camera dies. I'm having genuine troubles with my tech today. I keep running out of storage space and running out of battery. It's frustrating. I was kind of mid-transformation too, which makes it much harder to actually show. But I'm just gonna finish up. These fold out, cover the arms, peg into the legs. This collapses down, which is very tight. No reason. A lot of really tight stuff on this figure. Legs have a hidden double hinge in the knee. Which really fights me. I don't... There we go. I've been these guys back together. I've got stress marks all over the place. Oh, and I broke it. Fan-fucking-tastic. Not doing great. Anyway, well, normally, had I not broken it, I'd go with something like this. This can't peg together anymore because I broke it. And fix the other thing that fell off. Again. And boom. Tank mode. Take his guns. They go in there. I'm sorry guys. This is really annoying. I really want to like this figure, but it's falling apart. This is going to be, for the most part, a shelf queen for me, probably. Tarn, I was so excited to finally have a figure. He is yes, Tarn is a loser. He is obsessed with Megatron, all that. But he's cool. He's evil. He has the Decepticon logo for a face, for fuck's sake. He deserves a better figure than this. This is not a bad figure. It's not... Anyway, once again, I'm just having tech issues beyond tech issues. But, as I was saying, Tarn is not a bad figure. He's a lot of fun to pose. He is a tech issue after tech issue today, but as I was saying, Tarn is a good figure in terms of looks. He looks fantastic. He is a lot of fun to pose. He's got such dynamic ability, but my copy wants to fall apart. He doesn't have the QC issues that some people have, loose hips or such. But I broke it. And his chest constantly wants to fall off. The transformation is a little rough, and let's face it, the tank mode is classic kind of Cybertronian nothing. It's clearly a tank, but I definitely feel like it could have been a little more concise and less back heavy and awkward, I guess. Ultimately, I love how this guy looks. He's gonna be on my shelf for sure, but he's not gonna be in my hands a lot. Alright, well, final impressions. This pack is fun, but definitely this is the finicky 4. Starting with Cliffjumper. Cliffjumper, I do really like this figure actually. I can get by with the finicky transformation because just the robot mode and the car mode are just absolutely fantastic. I would have almost no complaints if it wasn't just that little bit of finickiness to put them together into that car mode. Tarantulas is very Beast Wars. He's Beast Wars Tarantulas. He's very Beast Wars. I find him to be a little rough around the edges. I think that his alt mode is the weakest out of the whole bunch. And it's not my favorite figure. Definitely a very finicky transformation. And it's the plastic, although yes, I've complimented the paint a lot, the plastic feels cheaper than the other figures by a large margin. I don't know what it is. It just feels light and weak. Tarn, the big bad boy himself, I really wish I could love more. I am still happy to have him in my collection. I think he's gorgeous. But oh, is he rough. He is rough around the edges. I think this mold has a chance to be better if this were just not so loose and like clear plasticky. And if they could, well, maybe it is my fault for the damage, but if it were just a little bit better, I feel like there's a lot of refinements they can make to make this a fantastic figure. Alt mode, kind of weak, but his robot mode is absolutely gorgeous. And weirdly enough, my favorite figure of the bunch ended up being Squeeze Play. Oop. I think that he's just genuine fun. I don't know why my camera is fuzzy now. But he is the most solid feeling figure. He is the most fun figure. I think he's got some of the best paint with the exception of Tarn. And I just enjoy it. There's so much charm to him. If I were to get these figures separately, I would pick him up for sure. I would definitely pick up Cliffjumper and keep him. Tarn I would have picked up, but I definitely would have been a little disappointed. And I just wouldn't have gotten Tarantulas. So in terms of the killing Cliffjumper pack, they killed it. In different ways than I was hoping. Cliff, I cannot help but feel a little disappointed, but at the same time I'm still pretty happy with the purchase, and I can say that at least this guy is going to be in my hands for a while. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I get that this was probably a little rough, as this is my first full-length video. Thank you for bearing with me. But, goodbye.